The Big Society is a policy that the Conservative Party plans to bring into action, but many people are still not sure what it's all about. To make things clear, we sent Peter Gillen on a mission.
The Big Society has been in the news a lot over the last few months, but for the most part it's come under criticism. People are saying that they don't know what it is and that David Cameron needs to do a better job explaining it. So I'm going to run through its 5 main points here on our Spark News board. First up, publish government data. They'll make it so that government-held data can be requested by the public and then published regularly. And they will oblige the police to publish detailed information about crime in your area, and then you'll be able to hold the police account for their performance. Next, it supports the creation and expansion of things such as charities and social enterprises, and support them to have much greater involvement in how public services are run. And they'll be allowing these public service workers to launch bids to take over the services they deliver. Thirdly, there'll be a transfer of power from central government to local government. This will include a full review of local government finance and giving councils a good power of greater competence. Second to last, they will give communities more powers. In other words, it'll introduce new powers to help people save local facilities and give communities the right to take over local state-run services. And they'll train a new generation of community organisers and support the creation of new neighbourhood groups, especially in the most deprived areas. And finally, it will encourage people to take a more active role in their community, which means promoting volunteering more and charitable giving. And perhaps a big point, it would introduce a National Citizen Service, a programme for 16-year-olds, to give them a chance to develop the skills needed to become active and responsible citizens, and encourage them to mix with people from different backgrounds and start getting them involved in their community. So, there's a lot into this plan, and if you look further into it, it raises further questions. For example, we spoke to Anna Gillingham from the Volunteer Society in Sunderland, and she rose an interesting point which we thought went against what the Big Society is trying to do.
But what we hope to see happen is that the government puts the resources into what the Big Society is and sort of what it's hoping to achieve. Because we're seeing a lot of organisations having cuts to their money in the funding that they get from the local government. And without this sort of support, the organisations are going to struggle to survive.
So, if the government are actually cutting funding to volunteer organisations, how are they supposed to encourage people to help out in the community and volunteer more?
I think the problem is the funding has been cut in one respect, but there's more funding from things like the Big Society Bank or the Regional Opportunities Fund available elsewhere. So it's not an absolute, there are other places for them to look for funding. That's one of the things that things like the Big Society Bank and the Regional Opportunity Fund are created for.
But Sunderland isn't a Conservative constituency, so we caught up with local Labour MP for Sunderland Central to discuss this flagship Tory policy.
Picking along the gist of what he's talking about communities helping each other and social enterprise and everybody looking after their neighbour and their street and whatever, Sunderland's always done that. But it's just the way we are as people.
But the Big Society may be coming about in a coalition government, but it's often called David Cameron's Big Society, which begs the question, how much do the Liberal Democrats actually know about it? What is the Big Society?
I don't know, because the Big Society is a Tory concept. It's one of those buzzwords that's around at the moment, but the Liberal Democrats have many ideas about the importance of local communities and voluntary activity, but the Big Society isn't a phrase that we use. It's used by the Conservatives in government.
We also met up with people from Sunderland Youth Parliament to discuss how they think it's going to affect you.
I definitely think young people will be hit hard because they, as young people, have a lot more skill and potential to do things, and they're not physically disabled, the majority of young people, so they've got the ability to do anything, and I think the government will capitalise on a lot of free work for young people.
Well, it means we're going to have to do a lot more. I'm not saying I want to be spoon-fed, but you're going to have to try and do a lot of your own things, so there's not going to be things there for you as much, I wouldn't say.
So the next question would be, will it work? A recent survey doesn't seem to think so. It says most people in Britain are unwilling to get involved in volunteering despite wanting to take a more active role in local issues. So for Sunderland, a city which has always had a big volunteering base, will it stick? Only time will tell. Peter Gillen, Spark TV.
Thanks, Peter. If you have a story that you'd like to have featured on Spark, get in touch. The details are on screen right now. It's now time to head over to our talk tank, where Daniel Kemp is getting to know Lucy Dawlish.
Thanks, Amber. I'm here with Lucy Dawlish, who is a nominee in a very prestigious Interior Design Award. Thanks for coming on the show today.
Oh, you're welcome.
Tell us about the award you were nominated in, Lucy.
I was awarded for the Janine Stone Young Interior Designer of the Year Awards. So
very impressive.
National award. Hundreds of people took part, which was quite cool. When I became a finalist of 25 originally. So. And
you ended up in the final 12, right?
Final 12 now, yes. I didn't win, unfortunately, but I am in the final 12, which means that Janine Stone will actually be putting all my details and everything out to other businesses, to the industry, to get my name out there and hopefully land myself multi-million-pound job.
Fantastic. So what was the design that you got to show everyone and you got to show?
Okay, we were given a brief, a very open-ended brief, but a brief where we had to design a space that was not in any particular space, but the space was 6 metres by 12 metres long and 4 metres high. That space had to be put into an environment, and then the environment had to be brought into the space. It had to have quite a lot of sustainable elements to it as well, especially with the new zero energy bill coming in and everything like that. Interior design has to be built around zero energy. Yeah, so that's about it really. So I did the design and popped it in January, I think it was, January 17th. And then it was just agony waiting for to find out whether I was a finalist or not.
Well, you were showing me your designs before and they're hugely impressive, and it seems like it takes a lot of work. I didn't realise the interior design would take so much work. It just seems like, you know, it would take hours on end of planning and developing those designs. Yeah,
there's actually a lot of planning involved in interior design. You just think that it's painting a wall or sticking a carpet down or buying a piece of furniture, but actually when a client comes to us, we have to get to know that client, find out what they actually want, whether it's like if I was doing your house, find out what your hobbies were, your interests and all that kind of thing. And then the design would actually be based around you to reflect your lifestyle, or if it was a multi-corporate company, we would need to find out what they wanted to achieve, and the kind of atmosphere that they wanted for their clients. So some clients, they will want them to be in and out. If it's a store, say, they want them to be in and out, and other people would want something that's more relaxing. So there's quite a lot of sociology and psychology involved, as well as architectural planning and building regs and fire regulations and all sorts of stuff. So it's quite intense course.
And obviously being nominated for this should bring you a lot of opportunities in the future.
Well, I hope so. There was a lot of work put into it for me to get this far. So yeah, we just have to wait and see now. Being down at the award ceremony, we got to meet, well, there's over 500 guests there, so and it was at the hospital club at where was it, Camden Market in London. Hospital club is exceedingly prestigious place to be, and full of money, lots of money.
Well, I hope you get there too. Okay, thanks very much, Lucy, for coming on today. And then back to the studio with Amber now.
Thank you.
A fantastic rollercoaster story. We wish Lucy every success in the future. That's all for tonight, and don't forget, if you missed any of this evening's Weekly Fix, you'll be able to catch up online. So until next time, why not keep in touch with Spark? Remember, we're available on 107 Spark FM and online at sparksunderland.com. I'm Amber Coates and we're exclusively Sunderland. Have a great evening.